ഇന്ന് ദേശാഭിമാനി പ്രേക്ഷകർക്കായി അഭിമാനപൂർവ്വം ഞങ്ങൾ ഒരു വ്യക്തിയെ പരിചയപ്പെടുത്തുകയാണ്. ഇന്ത്യയിലെ സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യേച്ഛുക്കളായ എല്ലാ മനുഷ്യരുടെയും ചിരന്തര പ്രചോദനമായ ഷഹീദ് ഭഗത്സിംഗിൻ്റെ അനന്തരവൻ പ്രൊഫസർ ജഗ്മോഹൻ ഇന്ന് നമുക്കൊപ്പമുണ്ട്. ഓൾ ഇന്ത്യ കിസാൻ സഭയുടെ ദേശീയ സമ്മേളനത്തിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായുള്ള സെമിനാറിനെത്തിയതാണ് ഡോക്ടർ ജഗ്മോഹൻ. അദ്ദേഹവുമായി നമുക്ക് സംസാരിക്കാം. വെൽക്കം സർ, വെൽക്കം ടു ദേശാഭിമാനി.
My pleasure.
Then we heard that you spent your infant days in jail. After that again you were kept in jail. You were put in jail in your childhood days.
Because that was the time in 1945 when British was at the same time the INA, Indian National Congress, the National Army by Subhash, they were being arrested and all that. So my mother went into the public, Bibi Amarka. She was 3 years younger to Bhagatsingh, so had inculcated a lot of values from him. So she had a very hard-hitting speeches against the British as well as the cronies of the British. So she was sentenced for that one, and I joined her being young, about 1.5 years old. But I think that provided me a privilege to be nurtured by the INA soldiers, because they were also in the same jail. So they will take me to their ward and play, because that may be the spirit which keeps you moving. Okay.
What prompted you to come to the Kisan Sabha conference?
Actually, we have been working with the Kisan movement, like when that long change. No, earlier also, being in the agriculture university, I have been, because I established a computer science department. So I jokingly said my co-scientist from agriculture that I don't know how much you have learned computer, but you have made me learn the whole agriculture sciences. So we have been concerned with, and then we have seen how the Green Revolution virtually turned bloody, and it is a killer now, that people are, instead of being, though this came with the idea that people will have some better life, but instead they have brought the suicides. So that has been the concern, and particularly my concern has been the democratic rights issues over there. So in the university, and because I had also worked in the high technology, I did my master's from IIT Kharagpur, and then I was invited to the agriculture university, and there also I tried to find out that the solution, if the new technology, and that was the question to me, that I have learned the highest knowledge, how it could be useful to the farmer. So at that time a self-starter for the tubers was invented by me, and when our university administration wanted it the patent, I said that I can't, because that virtually patent means exploitation of the farmer, but this is what we have, they have paid for us, we are returning with the technology which is appropriate for them. And that was finally brought to the level that it survived, and there are millions that are used, but it was a free one. And I think we learned from the Bhagatsingh and the whole, that it is the copy left, not the copyright. So we have, the knowledge is for the people, and it should be, and that is where we are now, because most of the corporates, they exploit the people because they patent some knowledge and then bleed the people out of their whole labor. So that has been the consciousness, and I think we are now, because today evening we will be having a good discussion, and we have a very known professors like Professor Prof, who has done, and we have learned from him how imperialism is to be seen from 1757 up to this. And that reminds me that when Bhagat Singh and B.K. Dutt entered, they entered into the Central Assembly. So somebody asked that what you are doing for. He said, I am putting my life on one slogan. And if that slogan is understood by my people, so my life purpose is completed. And that complete slogan is down with imperialism, long live revolution. That means there is a dialectical relationship between the suppressive or the exploitative forces and the good life of the people. So I think that makes us understand the whole phenomena. Even today, the new avatar of imperialism is your corporatization. Though it was a corporatization, and that has further degenerated into crony corporation, which has nothing to believe. And that makes us question the situation that we must have. And then I remind that most of our science also developed in the freedom movement, and that we must remember, because the first Nobel Prize winner, C.V. Raman, was a product of people's science movement, which was the Dr. Sarkar initiated, and he raised a very fundamental question, that the science which we will develop or that will solve our problem, that not the science brought from somewhere out. And that is where we are now, that we are not addressing our problems, but we are getting trapped by them. They say we are giving you the solution. They were never giving you the solution. Your solution has to be found by yourself. And that I learned in the agriculture university also, and I raised, because when I heard, if you go into the history of the Green Revolution, you will understand that in 1940, the Rockefeller thought that the way to control the world is to control the food. So he started the Green Revolution in Mexico. By 65, that Green Revolution had already passed his life. And there was a sociological, all world sociology conference. They wanted to learn that what has happened. So they had a very interesting report, which is rarely available, but I could find it out. And there is one chapter that here the Green Revolution started and here it died. So when it was dead, then it realized that now they are trying to find new grazelands. So virtually we became the next target of the imperialism. Even Green Revolution was not for us. It was imposed on us. And what Green Revolution do? It increased the fertilizer market, insecticide market, now herbicide market. So it was all, the labor of the farmer is going to those where we may not need them. There are other better ways of doing things, and people have been doing it, though there been, and there's also, so we are with that problem. And in the British imperialism, we had the biggest famines, we have the biggest epidemics. So one of the movement which was earliest movement and which was a victorious movement was in 1907. It was by the uncle of Bhagatsingh, Sajit Singh, Sufi Amba Prasad, Lala Lajpat Rai and others. And they raised with two questions. One was, or that slogan used to say, that our crop has been eaten away by the insects. or at the same time there is exploitation. So that was the slogan. But they also said that we have learned over 50 years, 1857 to that these famines and diseases are not the natural product. They are the product of the policy of the imperialism. And that gave rise to an understanding which produced the greatest revolutionary like Kartar Singh Sraba, because his father and mother died. And I say, when he understood that the death of my parents is not because of natural cause, but it is because of the policy of the British, so he became the youngest revolutionary. So to be revolutionary is to understand. So in that way, I think we are at a point, and All India Kisan movement, which is meeting today here, is at a very historical juncture. And I am reminded that this All India Kisan Sabha was established by Gadar Party Baba Son Singh Bhakna and Swami Swami. So these people, and that was parallel to the British rule, that is 20s, because after 19 this we started thinking. Then Swami Shardanand, that Swami Sajanand Saraswati was the first person, and that came to a point when in 1940 the United Left Movement, which was led by Subhash, and Swami Sajanand Saraswati arranged it in Ramgarh. So the slogan was no compromise with imperialism. I think now it is from down with imperialism to no compromise, and we are at a stage where we have to start thinking that what are the problem, our solutions of the problem. And we have a knowledge of the people's knowledge. And I think when we go through some of the experiments which are done in Kerala, it's always infused. When women's cooperatives are running, and as Sainath was telling me, that is when they say that first we have to secure our food, and then if surplus, then we will go to, and even if our labor can secure food for our family, well, it is the biggest achievement. So they are not for greed out of it, and I think that greed is to be taken over, and the individualism is which is introduced by the capitalism, and we are for collectivism. So somewhere we have to get together and address these problems.
So what are the lessons taught by the year-long protest of the farmers in North India?
I think one is that the ruler may be deaf and dumb, but he could be made to listen by a collective voice, and that has to be very consistent. And we had such a mature leadership of the former, that all kind of diversifications or dividing forces, they tried all kind of their things, but they were not because of the collective people. And another big lesson is that when the whole world was in COVID, in the Kisan Morcha there was no COVID. And I learned from that it is the quality of the food which save you, and nutritious food was there because it was being common kitchen and self-cooking, and all that food which is being served in the market is devoid of nutrition. And third part is that we must address to the basic problem, because we are dealing with a very cunning people. Those they talk something else, do something else. They are more in it because their basic perception is the word is illusion, and they try to keep it an illusion, bigger illusion, and they create illusion. So we are realists, because farmer cannot live with the illusion. He has to deal with the reality of the weather, of the world, and that is which that movement has brought. And that is why we are at this juncture trying to find that what alternative we should look for. But one thing is that the self-confidence which has come up, that nobody else will solve our problem. It is we getting together that we will solve the problem.
ഇന്ത്യൻ സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യത്തിൻ്റെ ധീരമായ പാരമ്പര്യം അവകാശപ്പെടാനുള്ള പ്രൊഫസർ ജഗ്മോഹൻ ഇത്രയും നേരം നമ്മളോട് സംസാരിച്ചു. രാജ്യത്ത് സാമ്രാജ്യത്വത്തിനെതിരെ വലിയ യുദ്ധം നടത്തിയ ഇന്ത്യക്കാർ ഇന്ന് മറ്റൊരു യുദ്ധത്തിന്, ക്രോണി ക്യാപിറ്റലിസത്തിനെതിരായ യുദ്ധത്തിന് തയ്യാറെടുക്കണമെന്നാണ് ഭഗത് സിംഗിൻ്റെ അനന്തരവൻ കൂടിയായ പ്രൊഫസർ ജഗ്മോഹൻ നമ്മോട് പറയുന്നത്. നന്ദി സർ. താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്.